going through doesn't compare to the glory within. If you are to suffer, then you are to reign with Him.
What can separate me
from the love of Jesus?
Nothing separates me from Him.
And we have a promise that says all things. God works for the good who love Him. If we are to suffer,
then we are to reign with Him. What can separate me from the love of
nothing separates me.
Nothing separates me from you.
What can separate me? And many of us have probably heard this song before. Let the poor say I am rich, let the weak say I am strong. But I always wondered, when will we actually be strong? When will I actually be rich? And I realized that I could go to God's word, and like God, can speak some things into existence that aren't as though they were. So it's time to speak some things into your existence. It's time to speak prosperity. It's time to speak happiness. It's time to prophesy victory. Help me sing this. I've got victory. I shall prosper. No longer shall I be bound. God has made me free. I've got victory. And I shall prosper. No longer shall I be bound. God has made me free. Come on, let's take it up. Said I've got victory. I shall prosper. No longer shall I be bound. God has made me free. I've got victory. Ooh, I like that song. I've got victory. Oh, oh, oh. I shall prosper. No longer shall I be bound. God has made me free. Oh,
Okay, let me stop. We're not. It's not like singing a little bit. Hey, ha! Do you have the victory? But do you have the victory though? So I'm going live kind of spontaneously. I have a number of announcements, so hopefully you'll catch this live now. If you don't, you can catch it later. But being, just rather informal. So let's knock some things out the way, and then I'm gonna see if I have some friends online that might want to come help me do some things. Number one, I want you to see this, okay? Please look if I can find it. I know you still see me behind it, but look at the thing. Christmas Sunday with the Collide. So of course, you all know I started a church, and it's online. It's all online. It's virtual because of the pandemic. Like I always say, who starts a church during the pandemic? I don't know. This guy did. But anyways, it's our first Christmas Sunday, and it kind of hit me like, oh my God, it's Christmas Sunday, and I should probably preach about something Christmas-y or focus on Christmas somehow. So we are. No, I'm kidding. This is well thought out. My wife had this wonderful idea. Christmas Sunday with the Collide. So here's what you want you to do. If you're tuning in, no pressure. Maybe you can tune in anyway. Wear your Christmas pajamas, or wear an ugly Christmas sweater or top or t-shirt. Take a picture or a selfie of you in said pajamas or ugly top, right? Post your cool Christmas gear in the comments during our service on Sunday. We start at 11:30 a.m., right? Towards the end of service, we will review all the participants. We'll review everyone who tuned in. And basically, the cutest pajamas or the ugliest sweater in top wins. What do you win? A gift card from the Collide Church. So there's something at stake here. So please, in our family, we are going to be Christmas ready. The question is, will you be Christmas ready? So that's that, right? So check us out this Sunday. I want to let you know about this too, because the Collide Church isn't the only thing I do. You all also know that I am an author, and I've written a book, and I'm very excited about it. And it's been out for a little over a year now, but it's still, I think, relevant, especially to now, being a global pandemic. It's called Hush and Do. Many of you all know me as Mr. Hush and Do. It's an inward journey of self-examination to transition from mere talk to action. So it is a book I wrote just to help people get over, like, why do I need attention? Why do I like to tell everybody what I'm going to do and announce my moves and declare my intentions, and letting you know that social psychology has taught us through many tests that you actually, when you declare someone what you're going to do and tell them your intentions, you're actually less likely inclined to take the necessary action steps to complete what you said. It's like writing a check and cashing it, but there's nothing really in the account to cover it. So when I say, hey, I'm going to write a book, you will acknowledge me as an author, and that does something for my social esteem, how I want you to see me. But the unfortunate truth is, when that happens, I'm actually more likely to not follow through the necessary steps to end up. Ooh, y'all hear that? Bailey is crying. She's sleepy too. It's almost 8. Oh, it's after 8. Yeah, she's ready. So anyways, and I'm excited because the new shipment of books just came in today, and I am so excited. And I don't want to just keep these here in my office. I want to sell them. Yes. Yes. I want to sell them to you and to everyone. So if you don't have your copy of Hush and Do, we will let me tell you where to go. I'm gonna type it in the chat right now. Well, the chat isn't working, but I'll post as soon as I'm done. hushanddo.com/store. hushanddo.com/store. Okay. So get your copy on it. It's good. It's 9 chapters, and I put my heart and soul into this because it's not just opinion, but it is a careful mix of theology, and I got my MDiv, so studied social psychology and behavioral psychology to address some of the whys. So we address fear in the book. Fear, the only way through fear, only way to get past fear is through it. Of course, we address procrastination at the end of the book. We put it off to the end. Ha 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 ha. Cue the laugh track. So get it. And there's tons of merchandise you can get with the Hush and Do book as well. We have the Hush and Do hoodie on the t-shirt, which you always see me in. Do I have one in here? I don't. But that's what I always do, right? So go to hushanddo.com and check that out. Last but not least, I'm excited about this. Look at this, you all. The vaccine, COVID-19, Christ, and our communities. We're going to have this conversation this Tuesday. So after Christmas Sunday, this Tuesday, December 22nd, a day before yours truly, his birthday, holler. December 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have an amazing panel that's coming on. Let me tell you how this started. And I'm going to see if one of them is online. Gene Baker, Dr. Knighton, Alexandria Rosa. If you guys are on, feel free to come on and join me. No pressure at all. None at all. But if you're on, come on. But what happened, I'm just, thinking through the week, like, how can I better serve my people? How can I better serve the community? What do I need to be doing right now in the midst of a global pandemic? Of course, you preach and you teach, and of course, we talk about Jesus and we talk about faith and all that. But we're dealing with some real life issues. Hold on, real quick. I might have someone coming online with me. Give me a quick moment. All right. So hopefully we'll have someone joining us. We'll see. Ooh. But to talk about the COVID virus, and to really talk about the vaccine, right? So much to unpack. And I felt it was incumbent upon me to get some information, right? I lead people. Yes, we're a small church and it's a small audience. Okay, I know. And people tune in from everywhere, but I have a responsibility to lead, and what I speak and what I say impacts people. So I need to use that platform with wisdom. And because I'm not a doctor, because I'm not in medicine, or I'm not in pharma, I'm not a nurse, there's some things about this I cannot speak to unless I take some time to study and do research. Having said that, let me say this to get this off my chest. There's a lot of people who have studied this. A lot of people, like the whole world is working together, you could say, to bring an end to the ravaging of this pandemic, right? There's people who study this and study the vaccine. They're doctors, like they're doctors. They spent years studying this. They spent hundreds of thousands of dollars studying this. They have years of experience in it. And they come and say, hey, okay, here's X, Y, and Z based on our study. Here's A, B, and C based on our experience, based on what we've seen, our research, and what we know. Who are we? Who am I or anyone to look at and say, but I'm going to Google something, and I'm going to Google COVID-19. It's going to return at least 5,000 results. And I'm going to scroll down to like the third article on the first page of that Google search. And I'm going to skim through it for all of 5 minutes. And after doing that, confident that what I believe based on what I read is more credible and reliable, than the years of research and study by these people in the field. Do we hear how asinine that sounds? That sounds absolutely crazy. And how absolutely arrogant is that? Come on. This is what they do. It's almost like when LeBron James is playing basketball and he struggles with free throws. LeBron playing for years and years, studying the game, playing it, one of the best to do it. And you say, well, I won a free throw competition when I was in 10th grade. So I'm gonna tell LeBron how to shoot free throws. Shut up. Oh my goodness. Hey y'all. So one of my panelists just came on. Let me bring him on. We're not gonna have the conversation right now, but we're gonna tease it and introduce it. I'm gonna tell y'all where it came from, okay? So everybody coming to the stage right now. Longtime friend, Gene Baker, the man, the myth, the legend. Who's here? How you doing, sir?
Not too bad, JT. Pastor.
I'm still getting used to that title.
Yes, sir.
So basically, I'm telling everybody how the conversation started. And I said, hey, I need to talk to someone I know. And I know you've been in the pharmaceutical industry for years. I'm like, let me call Gene because he'll answer the phone. He'll tell me. We talked for an hour. My mind blown, eyes open. Assumptions, skepticism I had are now put to bed. And I know the man is not lying to me. Let me say this first, too. Of everything that's going on in America, I think maybe the most sinister part, and we'll talk about this Tuesday night, is the culture of mistrust that's been served to us. We don't like experts in the field, and we're like, no, I don't trust you. Man, that's a spirit. That's not skepticism. That's a spirit. So I'm gonna give the mic to you right now, just to say just some general things about this conversation, the skepticism, your role, what you've seen in the pharmaceutical industry, just to whet our appetites for Tuesday night.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that opportunity. I'm really looking forward to this because it's something that is near and dear to my heart with what I do. But it speaks to a larger issue that you're beginning to touch on, the spirit that we have in this country. And I have a digital TV show called Gene's Tune-Up Time. It's all about leadership, right? So leadership is a passion of mine. And when you look at what's happened in this country, this trust of facts, of information, as spread like a virus or a cancer, no pun intended, where people just don't know what to believe and they believe anything. Add on top of that the ease of which disinformation is not just spread, but spread so quickly around the world. So people have no clue what to believe, and there's all kinds of checks. Well, is that true? And you look on that, and then that your source might not be true, and then that's not true. And it's you understand where people are, but where I've come to in this moment now is I see these posts from our people who are most at risk. We're already 3 times more likely to die from this thing. We already have multiple times more likely to die of or catch diabetes, die of diabetes, heart disease, all these other things, asthma, all these other things that automatically put us at greater risk. And then you add on top of that the lack of involvement in the healthcare system and a bias against Black people, people of color in the healthcare system. And then you hear our own people say, yeah, nah, I ain't getting that vaccine. That's Tuskegee times 2, or I've heard, they're gonna inject us with a tracking device, or they're trying to kill us all, or all these things that you see the genesis of where that came from, and you see the lack of leadership that we have in this country that is helping that attitude, or the dearth of leadership that we've had. And so all of this is contributing to our people saying, yeah, you know what? I'm not doing it. So me working in the industry for the last 20 years or plus. God, I'm old.
Not hard.
And but it gives me, and it has afforded me the opportunity to kind of understand the science that and how these things come about, and our company that I work for now has put us through a number of presentations from some really well-known scientists that have kind of gone through all the things to help us understand what's going on and the science behind all this. So I'm privy to a lot of information that's not, just for us, but I have heard it a number of times. So I want to share it with people to help them understand, not to make your decision for you, but give you the rest of the story, so you can make your decision based off of better data. And then if you decide not to do it or decide whatever you're going to do, it's at least based off of correct analysis and data and information about the situation.
That is so true, because I think a lot of people are reacting emotionally. But let me ask this question. Again, not getting into Tuesday night, but just dancing around it a little bit. If we look at America's history with communities of color, when it comes to healthcare, right? A long history, a long history. And of course, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, which I think many people have a misunderstanding of how that went and all that. I think the big question is this, and we might not even answer it tonight, but I want to put it out there. Why should we trust medicine now? Because it would seem like historically we've been burnt in healthcare on in every decade. There's been some kind of healthcare burn against people of color. So why, did the racism and hatred just go away and now we can trust this vaccine?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and it's a question that a lot of people have, right? And it's reasonable. And there's so many layers to pull back from that, though. From understanding where our distrust of the healthcare system has come into play, and that in itself is hurting our people, not just for this vaccine, but when you look at the morbidity and mortality rates of diseases that are affecting our population in the U.S., the general population. For Black folks, it's twice, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times higher than other races. And it goes back to a lot of issues. One is a distrust of the healthcare system. 2 is access to the healthcare system. 3 is a bias once you get into the healthcare system. I had a fraternity brother that died of this COVID virus, and a young guy, still in college, and they just didn't, they didn't believe him that he was that sick. A couple of days later, he's dead. And so they don't. There's so many things that go into people feeling uncomfortable in the system. Now, that being said, the medicine, that we use to treat cancer and diabetes and all these things they're available to everybody. So if you got sick today, you would go to the doctor and say, hey, I got heart disease, I need help. You wouldn't say, no, you know what, doc, I'm good. Let me
I don't know about that heart medicine. Right.
I'm good. Can I get out the hospital now? And let me just go home and rest. I know I need triple bypass, but let's put that off. You're not gonna say that. You're like, no, doctor, treat me. Do whatever you need to do to help me survive. And so when people understand the science behind this, that goes back to the early 90s. That's another misnomer. People think, well, how did we come up with this in 9 months? Well, it didn't come in 9 months. The science behind it started in the early 90s.
Wow.
So we'll talk through some of that, on Tuesday to help people understand that this didn't just happen. There's a lot of different steps. Some of it is luck. Some of it is a pandemic happened, and it happened to be a whole bunch of patients where they can quickly study this thing. versus trying to study it on Zika or something like that. That's
Yeah.
already been taken care of. So there's this technology has been there. Having a pandemic has allowed them to quickly study it, along with a lot of resources. Billions of dollars have gone in to help universities and companies come together and share information and come up with something relatively quickly. But there's a bunch of steps that have happened, over the years that have allowed this moment in time to kind of everything come together.
Wow. And I think, and that's why when we have this conversation Tuesday, the first maybe half or even the first 2/3 of the conversation, we're not going to take questions yet. We're going to just give out information, because what I found is people tend to fear and demonize what they don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
America didn't understand Black people, so they feared and demonized and criminalized us. And in many ways, similarly, we don't understand the science or you could say basic biology that would explain how the vaccine has come. So now we demonize it. But what I want to push people to do, we have to use our minds too. I've heard people say, they're not going to put that vaccine in me. A vaccine that comes out of a sterile packaging, they take the alcohol on your arm, clean it, and so it's completely sterile. But if you have a headache, you will reach with your bare hand into a bottle full of pills that were placed there by someone else's hand or machine, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, it's again, it goes back to the kind of proliferation, the ease of information that gets out there, whether that's good information or bad information. And the end result is people just don't know what to believe. It was funny. I'm a person living with diabetes, right? So I'm a person that at risk for this virus. I'm taking this extremely serious. And so I'm in the gym at least 3 times a week, lifting weights and doing all this stuff. And when you go online and you look at different workouts, today I was looking up all the nutrition stuff, and man, you could find all kinds of stuff, and half of it's garbage. Garbage. But you see people in the gym, they're doing some crazy stuff. I saw this dude, he had I think it was 305 pounds on the dumbbell, and he was on one of them balancing balls, and he was doing deadlifts.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, where did you see that, my man? Where did you see that? That was a good idea. He saw it somewhere, and somebody told him that it was a good idea. And that's the world that we live in, right? This proliferation of good and bad information. And so I think that goes into it. And so that's why I'm so passionate about this, is like, okay, I've been privy to, the right information, the facts behind this, the background behind all this, and health in general. Like, I'm going to do a series of seminars on diabetes. Our people are dying at ridiculous rates for diabetes. And it's for really a lack of understanding for what this disease is. People call it the sugars, right? And they just want to eat what they want to eat and don't want to be told what to do. And then we die at early ages, or we're having heart attacks and not even realizing it's diabetes. Anyway, that's another whole thing. But what I'm saying is, I think it's my responsibility, and it's all of our responsibilities. If you've been in contact with the right information, if you know something, it's our responsibility to help our people out. Let them know. I'm not, like I said in the beginning, I'm not making anybody's decision. I don't want that pressure to come back.
Right.
You said to do this. I'm not telling you what to do. All I'm saying, or all I'm going to be telling you, is kind of the rest of the story. The more information that you can then file and say, you know what? Okay, let me think about this. My hope is that you take that information in and you say, you know what, this makes sense for me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to protect myself and my family. But if you decide not to, that's your decision. But at least you've been exposed to more information.
Man, this is so good. So the last question I'm going to tease, and we don't have to answer this one. I'm going to just leave it out there for everyone who's watching, and we'll see this before Tuesday. Like I said, this is my good friend, longtime friend of our family. He was real cool with my father. They're like brother and brother, and I'm like the little brother that got to tag along
Yeah.
as a kid, and now as a grown up year later.
Since what, about 88?
Yeah. Woo, it's been a while. So, as I introduced him earlier, he's been in the pharmaceutical industry, and I'm sure someone has a legitimate skepticism like, now, wait a minute. Healthcare costs, at least in America, so much. Medicine costs so much. The whole world needs a vaccine. People want to make money. One comes so quick. You all are trying to become more billionaires at my expense? Ooh, so we're going to deal with that on Tuesday. Now he's going to have to defend the entire pharmaceutical industry all by himself. He's going to defend it all because we're coming for him. No, I'm just kidding. Well, my brother, thank you for joining me. I'm going to post this everywhere and just raise awareness, and I'm looking forward to our conversation on Tuesday night. Oh,
it's going to be good, man. And I'm looking forward to hearing from the other panelists as well. I love their background, and I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, and to that end, we have Dr. Shanina Knighton, PhD. She's a nurse scientist, and so many other titles I don't have in front of my notes right now, but cold-blooded and a graduate of the Upward Bound Trio program at Baldwin Wallace. So shout out to Upward Bound. At Baldwin Wallace, yeah. Oh yeah, she's Baldwin Wallace. All three of us, except for Alex. Upward Bound. So Miss Berry, if you're watching, I told you I'd shout her out. We're shouting you guys out. And then we have the registered nurse. Just met her 2 days ago. Wonderful conversation. Alexandria Rose. She'll be coming on. She has years in the emergency room being a registered nurse. She's a doctoral student right now in nursing at the University of Ashland. She's a wellness coach. She has quite the litany of what she does. So we've put together an amazing team, and my job is just to moderate it and put it in layman's terms at times if need be, and just push. You probably will come away being mad at me, not mad at them, but mad at me because I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna offend you because I want us to think and be better, especially in regard to faith and science and all that. So. Again, Mr. Baker, thank you so much. I'll see you Tuesday night.
Sounds good. See you there.
All right, my brother. Take care.
All right, take care.
All right. So, guys, that was it. I asked this lastly. Please share. Let me show you the flyer again. I'll post it as soon as it's done. I'll post this as soon as we're done. And I'm posting this soon as we're done. So you can check out the flyer, tune in. You can get ready for Christmas Sunday at the Collide with your Christmas gear. And I'm going to have some kind of Christmas t-shirt on. I'm going to make it. Yeah. And then go to my website and get my book. You should be inside anyways and not everywhere. So you might as well read a book and not just a physical copy. There's an ebook too. You can download the ebook and read it on your Kindle or your tablet. Throw away those green gems and wear rubies on your yacht. I'm just kidding. 10 people probably understood what that was and where it came from. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Please share this video. See you Sunday, this Sunday, 11:30 a.m. on these same pages and the church's website, letscollide.org. See you Tuesday night right here at 7 p.m. And we're going to get into it. The vaccine, COVID-19, Christ, and our communities. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thursday night. God bless you.